made it to video number 1. Well done. I appreciate you. And you should watch the introduction video. If you haven't, then you're just in the know. So workstation is my control node. And if you don't know what a control node is in Ansible, just take out the old notepad and jot down all of these things that are brand new. And then you can just Google it later, use ChatGPT or whatever you use in the privacy of your own home. And so SSH root at workstation. So yeah, that's how I study. I just take copious amounts of notes if I'm learning something new, and then I just study it later. So don't get overwhelmed. Just breathe. If there's a lot of new info. And talking about just breathing, now I have to breathe because I have to remember all this stuff because I'm not going to edit any of these videos and I'm just going to do it by memory. Subscription manager. So DNF repo list. I haven't subscribed yet. So cat etc Red Hat release. I'm running 9.7. And oh yeah, something that I should have said in the introduction video is if you're going to ask me in the comment, can I use Alma, Rocky, or Oracle? You probably can, but why would you? Google Red Hat developer subscription. Get a developer subscription because then you get, I think, like 10 licenses for RHEL, and you get also access to a bunch of different repositories. And so just do it. Do it. And use the thing that you're studying for. You're not going to take the certification, the exam on Oracle Linux. I like Oracle Linux. I work on it. Hello. But it's not for the certification. So Red Hat developer subscription. Anyways, so what are we going to do now is subscription manager register for this is supposed to be super fresh. Not registered. So let's register. Bad certificate. Okay. Products for. See, we're just already just doing stuff together. See what's happening now. Maybe I'm gonna have to re-record this if she's giving me some issues. I hope I put in the correct password because it's super long. Oh, subscribe, registered. Okay. Good stuff. What are we going to do now? DNF repo. Let's see if what was enabled. Base OS and AppStream. That is good. So now let's do DNF install Ansible Core and Ansible Navigator. Should I sing? No, I shouldn't. I should not. Enable. Oh, yes. I remember this. Subscription manager. Repos. Oh yeah. Repos. So let's do. Repos grep Ansible. You can see all the repositories that you actually get access to with your fancy developer subscription. So Red Hat, if you want to throw me a bone, give me some of the cool stuff from your shop, or I can wear stuff, or hello. This is the one that we want, I think. 2.6. Let's use the newest one that I have access to on. And you don't want debug and you don't want the source. So subscription manager, register, no, repos, and let's do help. Enable repo ID. That's what we're going to do. Do you know why I was having copy paste issues there? Copy pasta? It's because I want to do this. CellEJ. If you don't use CellEJ, you should. And see, now I created, see how quick that was? I created 3 tabs. Now I'm just using Alt and the arrow keys to switch between the old switcheroo. Let's rename this one NVim. And let's doc. Let's do this one as doc. So you can see the process in my crazy mind and run. And so what are we going to do now? So with NVim, that tab, I'm going to be writing the playbooks there. Here I'm going to use doc for Ansible doc, and here I'm going to run the playbooks. So I kind of like that. So, and also I am like on my machine, I have a really fancy NeoVim setup. It's quite stunning. And, but during the exam, I think we're just going to use Vim or NeoVim. I don't know, but it's going to be bare bones. So that's what I'm using. I'm going to use now. And I recommend that you probably do it as well. But, so what am I going to do now? So I have to SSH again and root because we have not created an Ansible user. So now I can actually copy pasta. So subscription manager, grep Ansible. And what I like about SeliJ is 2.6, and we're going to use this one. So you can just use a mouse like this. Super nice, super. See, text copied to system clipboard. Subscription manager, it was repos, and it was enable. You're screaming at the monitor right now, the monitor. Enable repo ID. And this should work. Is enabled. Look at us. Hammering, getting stuff done. The working class. Clickety click click. DNF repo list. Now we should see Ansible automation platform. DNF install, Ansible Core, Ansible Navigator. Alligator. Just scroll up here. Yes, they're both here. Sweet. Sweet Caroline. Ansible version. Okay. As I said in the introduction, I'm not going to be teaching you Ansible. I'm learning. You're watching me learn. Quite impressive. So this is the global config file for Ansible. And so later, we're going to create our own Ansible configuration file, and that's going to be more local. That's going to be, so that's how Ansible works. So even if it's with variables and whatever, it's the thing that is most defined, the closest, is going to win. So if you have an Ansible.cfg in your playbook directory, that is going to win over the config file in etc. And so what are we going to do as well? Just see that it is. Oh, yes. So I was just going to check the Ansible Navigator version, and now it's just trying to pull the execution environment. And if you don't know, you have to do a podman login to actually run the execution environment, but we're going to finish the Ansible Core stuff first. Now let's first create, yes, let's do that. User add, and let's put that user into wheel. You never know if we need to do not comment Ansible user. Ansible. And let's do password Ansible. I typed it wrong. I felt it. I felt it in my fingers. Don't act like you're not impressed. So let's just do, go out of there and just SSH again. And so if you're wondering, like, why am I not using IP addresses? Because I just put this into my etc hosts. If you're brand new to Linux, that is good for you to know. SSH Ansible. And if I go fast, you can always slow me down. and pause. But I'm probably not going. I need to go faster for some people. The coffee drinkers out there. So now we're in, and yes, now we're in, and so let's do make a dir, and I always do documents and RHCE, and so let's do that, and this is going to be our home for the entirety of this playlist. Just so you know, if you want to follow along. So Ansible help. I use the help a lot. So the thing is, with anything in Linux, you don't have to remember. You're slowly going to start remembering parameters, things that you know, options, like commands. But the main thing is to know how to find the help, how to look, how to process manual pages, etc. And so that's the key. That will be $10,000. Sorry. What was I going to do here? Ansible. And so I want to, I don't know if it's here that you can, I want to do something. And this is going to be super beneficial for all of us during the certification exam. Ansible config, and let's do help. And so I want to dump or initialize disable it. So I want to, and I am going to call it Ansible config disable it. And so if we do less Ansible config disable it, here you can see you have all the Ansible configuration options available, and they're all disabled, which is super nice because if you're during the exam, you can't remember parameter or something, you can use this, which I think is so good. So defaults, and there are two sections you have to remember: defaults, and privilege escalation. This one right here. And now you know, and we're going to use this later. Then now, since we have this, we are going to do Ansible nav. No, we're going to do pom and login in registry.redhat.io, because you're going to have to log in to get the download the execution environment. Yes, hope that succeeded. Yes. And now if we do Ansible Navigator, and did I do help? Let's just run this bad boy. See, now it's pulling the image. It's not going to do much, but it's using Rel 9 latest, platform 26, like we enabled that repository. So that is nice. That is nice. This is quite slow. So later on, we are going to set the Ansible Navigator configuration file, which actually is not an ini file. It uses YAML. So we're going to create a dummy Ansible Navigator YAML file. And so this is what Ansible Navigator looks like. And I have seen online, just remember, I'm not taking the exam, so I don't know. But I've seen a lot of people ask, do I have to run my playbooks using Ansible Navigator? And from what I've read, no. But people have said that you have to be able to, or you have to install Ansible Navigator, and your playbooks kind of have to run. I think it's probably the score using Ansible Navigator. So on the exam, I'm going to probably run my playbooks just using the Ansible Navigator. And because if you use standard out, it's just going to write it to the screen. It's not, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up, but we're going to learn about this whole shebang together. So Ansible Navigator, and let's do H, because we're going to have to do not settings. Yeah, maybe it's settings. Ansible Navigator settings. Oh, there it is. Sample, that's what we need. Sample. Because, yeah, it's going to generate a sample setting file. So let's put that into Ansible Navigator disabled. Yes, okay. Let's see if that worked. Okay, let's do less Ansible Navigator disabled. Okay, we're just gonna, you don't have to worry about this. We can delete this later. But here you see 3 hyphens. That is a start, a legit start to a YAML file. So here you can see Ansible Navigator. And down here are a few settings that we're going to set later just to make Ansible Navigator a bit more nicer to run. More like just using Ansible Playbook like we're used to from the command line. And so I think having these 2 files with all the available options but disabled is really good for the exam. So let's now create an inventory. Let's do cat etc host. And I'm just going to steal from this one right here. I'm not going to put the workstation because that's the control node. NVim. I don't even know if NVim isn't even installed. So let's just use Vim and inventory. We're going to call it inventory. And it's not a YAML file. It's basic any file. No one. I think I'm going to have to do it like this. Oh, sorry. My Icelandic keyboard just kicked in. Delete and like that. Word, delete and delete. Word. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? We're working together. You and I. Delete. Okay, so we're going to create 2 groups and a child group. The children. We're saying, somebody think of the children. Let's just do web servers, something classic, and database. It's awesome. And let's do div. And let's do, what should we do? Prod and children. And children of the prod are going to be databases. This doesn't have to make a bunch of sense. I'm just showing you how to create an inventory file for the stuff that we're going to be doing. And so Ansible Playbook, let's do Ansible inventory. Because we have not, if we had an Ansible.cfg file, we can tell it default inventory file. But since we don't have that, we're going to have to do Ansible inventory and tell it what inventory file to use. And let's do graph. And here you can see, by default, there's a group all. And you also have ungrouped. So if we would have a host in the inventory file that does not belong to a group, it would be under ungrouped. So this is what it looks like. Wait, let's do list. Oh, list. prod children databases. Did I not see that here? Okay, here it is. Sweet sauce. So what we can do just to verify that Ansible is working and that it can communicate with the other nodes, let's do Ansible, and let's do a module. Let's do ping. And so this is something that you're going to have to learn with modules. Let's do Ansible doc -L. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even SSH'd Ansible at workstation. I'm on the wrong host. That's why. CD documents, RHCE, Ansible doc. And let's do -L. So by default, Ansible doc lists all the module that it has installed. And so that is something that you can use if you don't know a name for something. You do grep ping, for instance. And here you can see, oh, there's a module called ping. And so you can use the fully qualified name, which you're going to do for the exam itself, and I'm always going to do that. But when I use ad hoc commands and use from the command line and from using Ansible, I don't use usually the fully qualified name. I just use ping. But if I was writing this in a playbook, yes, I would use the fully qualified name. And so we're going to do inventory, remember, because we haven't put stuff into the inventory file. And let's do, I feel like I'm teaching Ansible just to study, but who knows? Like, it doesn't matter. I hope you're still watching and learning something. Inventory, and then we're going to see, we haven't created the Ansible user. That's going to be in the next video. So stay tuned. Like and subscribe and all that, hello. That's going to be in the next video. We create the Ansible user on all the nodes. But now we're going to have to do user root and ask pass, because we're going to be running, I can't remember everything, people. So this is where actually using the help and comes in handy, because but I have to tell you something. The font on my screen is supersized, so it's for your pleasure. So you can actually see what's happening, but for me it's terrible. So let's do Ansible module ping inventory. I just want to see it actually. Oh, what am I doing wrong here? What? What's going on? Sorry. You always have to tell it what host it's supposed to run against. Sorry, I've just had a super brain farty moment, but you experienced it with me together. So Ansible, the module is going to be ping and inventory, and user is going to be root because there's no Ansible user. And we're going to have it ask for a password, the SSH password. And what I want to see now is actually, this is fantastic. So now it's saying host key checking is enabled. And so what we're going to have to do is, this is not for production. This is for studying. So don't scream at me, you security buffoon. Let's do less. And what was it? Ansible config disabled. And so it's going to be under default. And it's check. What was it? Sorry, I'm gonna go out, and I just want to see this one more time. Host key checking. That is what it is. So technically, I should be doing it right here. Less Ansible config disabled host key. Here you can see it. Host key checking. So we're gonna do vim ansible.cfg. Now you can see why this comes in handy. Defaults. It's going to be in the default section, and we are going to comment this out. And let's just do it like that. Okay. Host key checking is enabled. Did I not? Cat ansible.cfg. Oh, I was supposed to put it to false. Sorry. See? Delete word and false. False. I'm sorry. I know I wasted like 30 seconds of your life. And I think I wrote the password in wrong. Okay. Here we're actually getting something. Permission denied. I think it was just because I was correct. I wrote in the wrong password. See, success. Bada bing, bada boom. So what have we done? What have we done, baby? We've created the inventory file, and we've created the configuration file. And now you know how to create a disabled configuration file for Navigator and also for Ansible Core. So I think that is everything that I wanted to cover in this video. Stunning. If you have any questions, just ask. But in the next video, we're going to create the Ansible user, distribute it. And so we don't, and we're also going to be working with creating the Ansible Navigator configuration file, and we're going to put in more options for Ansible configuration, but that's going to happen when we need it. So you're hopefully going to understand why you're putting those things in there. Because if I would just copy pasta like 25 different things into the configuration file, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help me. Let's just be honest. And so once we've created the Ansible user, we distribute it, and we put the inventory into the configuration file. We're not going to use root, ask, pass, all that jazz. So thank you for watching. Watch the next video about the Ansible user of Doom. So talk to you later. Bye.